Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about notice and note for fiction reading. And we're actually going to start off with the two top parts of our notebook or bookmark. And the bookmark will have been passed out in class, or it is shared with you on Google Classroom for those who are outside of the classroom. So we're going to be looking at contrast and contradiction and the aha moment and how to use the annotation tools in Common Lit. So first things first, when you're reading a fiction story, you're going to be looking for when a character says or does something that is opposite of the way they've acted previously, or they are placed in a situation that seems to be out of the ordinary from a typical situation that you have experience with. So these are times that you're going to be looking for things that stick out in your mind and are flags or signposts that let you know that there's something going on that you're supposed to be paying attention to. So when you're reading and a character says or does something that's opposite of what you expect or what they've been saying all along, again, or the situation seems to be opposite of what is our typical reality. So you're going to need to pay attention to the way characters act previously, but also pay attention to the setting that the author is trying to present for you. Some of the key words that you can also look for in a text that would help you to find these moments are going to be words like unusually, unlike her or him, not normal, this was shocking, why did they say that, that kind of thing. So when you see these things, what you need to do is stop and ask yourself, why is the character doing this? Or why is this situation not normal? Okay. It's there to help you make a prediction or make an inference about the plot, the character's motivations, and the conflict. Okay. When you see it, what you'll do is you'll highlight that piece in pink. For the next one, we're going to be looking at the aha moment. And a lot of times the aha moment is connected to our contrast and contradiction. The aha moment is when you are reading and suddenly a character realizes something, understands, or finally figures something out. So, for example, for you, an aha moment probably is most noticeable inside of a classroom that you've maybe struggled with a skill before, and then all of a sudden one day it just clicks into place for you, and you realize maybe what it was that you were missing previously that made it kind of difficult. For me, myself, that always happened in things like a math class, where perhaps I struggled with understanding something, and then somebody presented the formula to me in a different way, and all of a sudden it just made sense. All right. So some of the keywords you're going to look for in the text in this case are going to be surprised, shocked, realized, suddenly knew, suddenly understood, things like that. And what you're going to need to ask yourself is, how might this change things? Your answers are going to help you to determine the conflict or the character and figure out the problem, those kind of things. So what we're now going to do is take a quick look over at Common Lit and the tools that you're going to use in Common Lit as you're reading in order to identify your contrast and contradiction or your aha moment. So what I have right now is The Myth of Daedalus and Icarus, and this is from the Ovid, or Ovid, the is really Ovid was a poet in ancient Greece. We don't really know if it's like one person or many people, but they retold a lot of the Greek stories that are now written down as mythology for us. So we're going to be looking at this for just a moment so that you can identify what you would do with your highlighting tools. And rather than reading the text, I'm just going to show you how to highlight and use the different tools in Common Lit. So what you're going to do is come over here to this highlighter tool, and you're going to click on that, and you'll see that it says select text to highlight or add annotations. So I'm going to find a piece where it says, so for example, this piece here where it's got a little quote, and I'm going to go over to my highlighter. Come on. All right, there we go. And then apparently I had to click on it again. Why is this not going away? Okay. So if you have these troubles, now you at least know that they go around. All right, so I'm going to click on the highlighter, and then I'm going to highlight what I want to use. So I have two pieces here. The first one is text, and the second one is the highlighter marker. So here I have an option to change my colors. So remember, our contrast and contradiction is going to be the red or pink, and the aha moment is going to be orange. So I'm going to pretend that this is my contrast and contradiction, and I'm going to highlight it in pink. Now I need to go back and add annotation for that. So I'm going to, again, highlight that, and my box is going to pop back up. And then I'm going to click on my annotation box here. And we'll get rid of that little box there so that we can type into the annotation. So I'm going to share my contrast. My contrast and contradiction. What is the contrast or contradiction is what I need to put in this box. And then I then also have to add in what I think this is in there for. Why are they showing me this contrast? Why is the character acting differently than they have before? Why is the setting set in a future or in a past that is not like the one I'm living in? What is the purpose of this? Okay, so I'm making a guess for the second one. I'm stating a fact for the first one. So what is the contrast? And then my guess or my inference is, what is the purpose of this contrast? All right, so then we're going to go on and I'm going to show you how to change the next one. So if we have orange, I'm going to go ahead and say I accidentally highlighted it in yellow. To change the color, all I have to do is click on it again and click on that highlight and then come back over to the tool and then select the orange, and it will change it to orange, which unfortunately is still similar to that yellow color. Again, if I want to go in here and then put in my aha moment, I'm going to click on that text box, and then I'm going to share what it is that I suddenly realize or that the character realizes. So the aha moment. So what do I realize? What does the character realize? So one of these two things. It's an either or. So I'm going to put or in here, all caps. So what do you realize or what does the character realize? So do you suddenly realize, oh, this is a dystopian story? Or, oh, this is a story about systemic racism or social justice? Or this is a story that's trying to teach me about good and evil. What is it that you suddenly came to that realization about? Or what is the character suddenly realizing? Oh, I can't trust this other character. Or, oh, I've been trapped in the matrix the whole time. What is it that they're coming to the sudden realization about? And then you're going to ask yourself, what does this realization change? How does that change you? How does that change what the character sees? How they're going to act in the future? Those kind of things. So we're going to work on these two skills for this reading assignment that you've been given. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off today. For right now, if you have any further questions, you can rewatch the video or you can reach out to one of your teachers. So I'm going to let you go for the day. Make sure you're completing all of your assignments and make good choices.